Hello, this is Verve, and today I'd like to teach you guys about some of the Fire Emblem Heroes AI behavior that I've researched as of late. To give you some background, if you don't know who I am, I'm a solo runner who uses Mia. To clarify what solo running is, I try to clear difficult content like Infernal Grand Hero battles and Bound Hero battles using only Mia. Now, on content where you're allowed to bring Mia by herself, which would include, for example, chain challenges or the recent developer challenge maps, in those maps, I will try to bring Mia by herself. However, for Grand Hero battles and Bound Hero battles, I am forced to bring in 3 other units in addition to Mia. So, to make it as close to a true solo as possible, the allies are not allowed to deal damage or tank enemy hits, and they can't perform any buff, debuff, repositioning, or dance support for Mia. However, even though these allies do not assist Mia directly, just from the sheer fact that they exist on the map, they affect the enemy AI's movement. On some maps, this doesn't really matter, because there is a choke point that all the enemies will go toward. However, on other maps, such as Leon's Grand Hero Battle or Valter's Grand Hero Battle, the space is much wider and with multiple paths of approach, so the AI will be affected by your allies' composition and placements. So what I'm getting at here is that understanding AI and knowing how to manipulate their behavior is an important part of solo running, so I have made it a point to understand how the AI behaves so I can plan moves rather than waste stamina potions blindly testing things and hoping something sticks. Anyway, for the most part, there is already a good resource about AI behavior on the Fire Emblem Heroes wiki, links in the description below. It covers topics like targeting, turn order, support skill usage, and some other goodies. However, it does not cover the full extent of AI behavior, so with this video and videos I may make in the future, my goal is to shed more light onto the specific nuances of AI behavior. Because you might not be familiar with some of the basics of AI behavior, I will do a little primer here to get you up to speed. For most of this video, I will be using either the first developer challenge map, the Effectives, or Veronica's map in the story, the one with a bunch of pillars. And I do these in order to demonstrate AI movement properties. One more thing to note before we begin, there are at least 2 distinct sets of AI behaviors. One is an aggressive AI that is used in arena and Grand Hero battles. This AI plays aggressively because its primary goal is to score kills, and ruining your deathless arena run is pretty much their win condition. There is another set of behaviors that is more defensive, which is what your auto battle uses, and pretty sure Tempest Trials uses it too. I will be focusing on the aggressive AI because that is the set that is more relevant to solo running. So what we have here is turn 1 on the Effectives. The very first thing that happens here when the enemy gets their first move is they each get assigned a target. I'm not going to go too in depth about targeting selection in this video because as you can see, I only have Mia. We only have Mia, and Mia is the only target available. I'll just keep it simple and say that targeting is pretty intuitive in that they will choose the target that results in the most favorable battle. Anyway, once a target is assigned for a unit, it will not change targets until the current target dies. If a unit appears as a reinforcement, or if an enemy does not move until a later turn for whatever reason, it will be assigned its target the first turn on which it moves. So that might include Valter in his Grand Hero battle. He doesn't move until later. Now, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the basic turn order structure, which is that melee units go first, then ranged units, and if there are multiples, then whoever is closer moves first. There are certain exceptions, such as dancers. We have Inigo here, he is one of those exceptions. And units without assist abilities will move before units with assist abilities. But that's just the basic turn order structure. Moving on. Now, when a unit moves, it will try to move as close as it can toward the target. And when I say close, I'm measuring the distance along a traversable path. So since Ephraim moves first here, we will use him as an example. One of his closest paths to Mia goes like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And he can actually also move the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he's got 2 paths that are 12 spaces in length, and these are his ideal paths. when he calculates these paths, he's not taking into account any allies or enemies that are in the way. So say for example, I had an enemy here and he just wanted to move. Let's just say he wasn't going to attack anything. He would still be calculating this path as well as this path. This map isn't the best for explaining this concept, but I thought I'd just put it out there. But anyway, since Robin's in the way on this path, turns out his only choice is to go to the right. So Ephraim will move here. And then Inigo goes next, because dancers have special priority when a danceable ally is in range. So Inigo will go here, dance Ephraim, and then Ephraim will move here. Robin is next because she is the next closest to Mia, as opposed to Ursula, who's one unit further away. So Robin will move next. She will move down here. And Ursula moves last. Robin's in the spot that Ursula wants to move, so Ursula will move here. So for the most part, everything here happens as you would expect, and nothing special really happens. I just wanted to use this turn as a refresher. So let me clear this board. Oops. And just watch the move here. Let's fast forward to turn 2. Ephraim will move first again, and he'll go left and down. Robin's up next, so she will go behind Ephraim here. And Inigo's still not in range to dance anyone, so he doesn't go yet. And let's just write an E here for Ephraim, and then R for Robin. So everything here still goes as expected. Now let me switch up the clip here and go like this. So let's say Mia's actually in column 6 here instead of where she was in column 1. You can take my word that up to this point the enemy acts exactly the same no matter where Mia is. So Ephraim still goes here, Robin still goes here. So now I want to play a little game called What Does Ursula Do? She will take the next action, and I want you to guess what she is going to do. As a little bit of context, she does have rally attack as her assist. So let's see. She wants to take this path to Mia. That's the shortest one. However, if she wants to go down this path, there's Robin in the way and Ephraim over here, so she can move a maximum of 1 to where Robin used to be. So that's probably what she's going to do, right? And let's check. Right, so that's exactly what she does. I probably made it sound like she was going to do something strange, didn't I? Now, how about if Mia was in column 4? Well, this one's a little different because Mia is actually in Robin's acquisition range. So if Robin's here, she could attack Mia next turn. And as a result, Ursula will want to use Rally on Robin. So she will do the same thing before, because she's still got this kind of path, and she can still only move 1 space, but this time she's going to move next to Robin and want to rally her because Robin's in attack range of Mia. So let's check the answer here. So Ephraim moves there, Robin moves there, Ursula moves there, and rallies. this up. Okay, so everything here is kind of happening as expected. Now let's check out what happens if Mia is in column 5. So this time Ursula has several paths she can take when Mia stands here. So she can go like this. That's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She can go 1, 2, 3, 4, then go to the right, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the spot that we've been going to before, it's 8 spaces, and she can actually also go to the left here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11, so it's a longer path here, but if she were to move to the left, she could go here. And this spot is also 8 units away from Mia, which is the same as this one. So she's got several different options. Let's see what she does. Whoa, and would you look at that? She moves to the left. It's kind of somewhat unexpected, right? Because it looks like it's kind of veering away from like an efficient path. Efficiently, you think she would just want to stick to the middle here and gone straight for Mia. But whatever, let's go back to column 1 now. What do we think Ursula's going to do here? She's going to move left here as well, maybe? This spot's pretty close to Mia, she could attack him next turn. But otherwise, these paths are all the same distance from Mia. Sorry, not the paths, but this spot is as close to Mia as this is in terms of their traversable path. This one goes like that. This one goes like that. Same distance. So let's see what Ursula does here. Okay. Oh, whoa. She does that? Hey Verve, I thought you said that they try to stick to a path, but clearly that tile is a diversion in the path. Well, I did say that, but it was actually an oversimplification. In reality, let me get rid of these marks. In reality, the path is mainly used for targeting. However, when deciding which exact tile on which to move, they actually look at all tiles in their movement range that get them closest to the target. So, since the closest 2 tiles to Mia in Ursula's move range are inaccessible due to Robin and Ephraim being there, so this one, choice number 1, this is where Ursula ideally wants to go. And this one's choice 2. Both of those are blocked. So she has 3 choice 3s actually. These 3 spots are all the same distance from Mia actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all these tiles are the same distance away, so even though this one kind of veers off, it still can be a candidate for Ursula to move, even though it's not on strictly on her path. Like, let me just clear all this. So Ursula was here, like, obviously that's not her path, that would be like 2 extra, but because this spot is the same distance, it is a candidate for her to move on. So what determines which tile she goes to when they're all the same distance away from Mia? Well, the answer lies in this tiebreak condition. If all the tiles the AI wants to move on are the same traversable distance from the enemy, the AI will choose the safest one. For instance, if any of your units could attack one of those tiles, that one is deemed unsafe and will thus have lower priority than the ones that are out of your attack range. None of the examples I showed you displayed this behavior, but I will pull one up right here. So in this example, I have a level 1 Felicia here, and a level 40 Spring Camilla. So when we do the targeting, it's pretty obvious that all 4 of these are going to go for Felicia. And let's see, on turn 2 in the Mia example, on turn 2 in the Mia example, when she was in column 5, Ursula moved to the left. But in this case, Spring Camilla would be in range to attack her. So she considers this space unsafe and will be considering one of the other 2 spaces. So let's see that in action. So turn 1 happens the same. But in turn 2, you see Ursula moves down. Alright, so let's go back to the Mia examples. Alright, so what goes into deciding which tiles are safer when Mia is clearly not in range of any of them? So let's review our tiles. So there's this one, and then there's this spot. So Mia obviously is not in attack range of any of these. So which one's determining which one's the safest? Well, the answer is that the AI will take the tile that is farthest away, but not in terms of the path, which we have been, this is what we've been talking about in distance usually. We're not talking about how long the path is, because these are all the same distance in terms of the path. But we're talking about Manhattan distance. And Manhattan distance is simply the sum of the vertical and horizontal components of the displacement between our 2 units, or spaces in this case. But for the sake of relevance to Fire Emblem Heroes, let's call this Flier distance, since they have unobstructed movement. So in the column 5 example, this tile, this one right here is 1, 2, 3, 4 units away from Mia. And then this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units away from Mia. And then this last one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units away from Mia. So this one is the farthest in terms of Flier distance, yet its path is the same distance as the other tiles. So because it has the same offensive capabilities, due to the path being, the traversable path being the same amount, but it's got the greatest Flier distance, it is considered the safest tile for Ursula to be on. So we can see this in action in action again. So again, she wants to move to the tile that is farthest from Mia. Oop. And let's go back to column 1. So in the column 1 example, Ursula moves here, and that's because this spot, she's actually, it looks like she's being clever and is getting primed to be danced by an ego, but really she's going to the 3rd tile here because it is got the greatest Flier distance from Mia and is thus considered the safest. Getting danced by an ego is just a kind of an afterthought and like a bonus. And then let's erase that. Let's go back to column 6 example. So Mia's in column 6. Ursula ends up moving just down. Actually, let's just let this one play. Oops. So again, she moves down because this spot, it's got a smaller flyer distance than Mia's, or to Mia. And she doesn't move here because, well, this path is now too long. Oh, whoops. Well, that one needs path. This path. Because, yeah, this is now the path. Alright, so I have a few more clips to demonstrate this property in action. In this clip, we've got Ephraim ready to move, and he's got two different paths to go. He's got this way, and he's got this way. They're all the same distance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he can either move left and down to, or sorry, down and left. So let's get rid of that. Down and left to here, or he can move down and right to here. But with our newly learned property in mind, we can check their flyer distance. So this one is 2, while this one is 4. And we now know that Ephraim will want to take the more defensive tile. So the one that is farther away in terms of flyer distance, so he should move to this one. And let's see in action. Bam, bam, bam. And everything else that happens is irrelevant. That's a normal AI, expected AI behavior. Okay, so I have a few more examples. Oops. Let me pause that. So in this one, Ursula has these two paths that are equal distance. She can either end up moving 1, 2, 3 here, or she can move 1, 2, 3 here. But this one is 3 flyer distance, and this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flyer distance. So she will want to move to this one. Let's check it out. That's exactly what she does. And one more example. I won't draw it out for you, but you can see that she's got 2 different paths. And she will move to the one that takes her farther from Camilla. So this behavior, it can be rationalized because the AI, again, is the same distance from Camilla in both cases. So no matter if she's here, or if she's, let me close that, or if she's there, she's still the same distance from Camilla. But this one, from this one, Camilla could actually attack her. But from this spot, Camilla can only reach here. Or sorry, wrong one. Up to here. And thus this spot is much, much safer. And then, as I said, they do want the safest position possible. So that means if a map has defensive tiles, the AI will regard that as the safest tile before accounting for flyer distance. So AI will prioritize defense tiles. For the most part, this lava map gives us asymmetric paths, which is why I really like this map for showing this property about flyer distance. But let's check out situations where the tiles to choose from really do seem equal. So with that, let's go over to Veronica's map in the story mode. It's got a bunch of pillars, paths aren't so windy, and for the most part, you won't get into a situation where the flyer distance matters here. So let me pull that one up. So here we've got Reinhardt, and we've got a little sword unit here who wants to chase him. And he can either go like this up to here, or he can go right over here. So both of them lead to the same distance from Ryan, 2 spaces away, and both of them are equally unsafe as far as being in attack range of Reinhardt or just flyer distance, etc. So what happens here? Well, in this case, the sword will go up. The tiebreaker here can be summarized in this hierarchy: up, right, left, and then down. So I can type it out here. Up greater than right, greater than left, greater than down. So this is a kind of a general summary of the hierarchy, and this isn't actually entirely accurate, but it's a simple rule of thumb that will work for most cases. So to go into more detail about exactly, well, actually let's just view this clip first to make sure. Right, so it goes up instead of going to the right. Now, to go into more detail in how the hierarchy works, then we imagine that on this map, the origin's actually centered at the top right. So here's the origin. And then this top rightmost tile, we'll label it 1. And then we count up when we go left. So this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. And then when we get to the end of the row, we go to the next row and wrap around. So 7, 8, etc., etc. And then this last one in the A1 corner, this one's 48. So when we make this coordinate grid here, we get a, what I like to call tile priority grid. So this is the final tiebreaker when all choices are equal. And for the most part, it will translate into the rule that I reiterated before: up greater than right, greater than left, greater than down. And you can see this hierarchy in action in the full set of clips of the sword chasing Reinhardt around from all angles. So I'll show you a few more. So when Reinhardt's here, could move left, could move up, but this one, higher priority on the tile priority list. So he will move up. Oops. Bottom right. Again, he wants to move towards that tile that's on the top right. So you could see that he prioritized moving right over moving down, because that takes him closer to that top right corner. And we can do some of them where he's on the side. In this situation, he will go up and right. In this situation, the sword will go up and left. In this situation, he will go right and then down, instead of left and down. And in this one, he's going to go right and up instead of left and up. I don't know why there's no sound for this one, but this is how the general hierarchy of tile priority goes. So let us look at another situation. Oop. Okay, so in this situation, it's pretty similar to the stuff that I set up before. Ryan would have been in this corner, but now he's one space lower. So let's see if this makes a difference. We expect either moving right or moving down. This tile has number 1 priority, so he should move right. So let's see. Oh, whoa. It moves down. So now you probably think that everything I've been telling you is a lie about the tile priority grid, but it's actually still accurate. What actually happened was I withheld telling you about another tiebreaker that actually exists after Flier distance, but before this arbitrary tile priority. And that property, or that tiebreaker property, is about avoiding ploys. So that's right. If there are multiple palatable options, so this was 1, this was 2, the AI will attempt to choose the one that is not horizontally nor vertically aligned, if possible, in order to avoid ploys. So, oops, can't draw a straight line, huh? So this is Reinhardt's ploys, potential ploys, I should say, and he will avoid this one, go here, because there's no potential ploy. And you don't even have to have any ploys equipped. My Reinhardt does not actually have any ploys on him, but AI will still exhibit this behavior. They practice it regardless. You won't see this property come up too often, but it does exist, and I am letting you know. And there you have it. These are the rules that I have discerned regarding basic AI movement and regarding their behavior in terms of tile selection. So to review, the tile the AI will try to move to will, first of all, have the shortest traversable path toward the target. 2, they'll try to choose the safest one, be it because of defense tiles being out of enemy attack range or just pure flyer distance. 3, avoids ploys. And 4, has a higher priority on the tile priority grid, whose origin starts at the top right. So these rules also govern which tiles AI will choose to end up on when they attack and when they use support abilities. However, do keep in mind that the examples I use here mostly involved single unit actions as well as single targets, and there are a lot more variables that affect a typical turn when there are more units in the mix. The aim of this video was simply to shed light on the behavior of the AI at its core. So in the future, I hope to make more videos that can explain how the more complex scenarios operate. This was Verve, and thank you for listening.